What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today with kind of a ramble type video slash what's going on in life slash we all know what's going on in life right now, and I'm going a little stir crazy. Stuck in the house, so I just thought I'd make a video. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, coronavirus, as it's ongoing throughout the world right now. You may recall a couple of weeks ago, actually, it's probably been over a month, I actually did make a video about this when it first started to affect China. I think at that point in time, there were probably maybe only 200 people dead at that point when I was, talking about how we needed to be vigilant and start paying attention to what was going on with it. Obviously, things have gotten quite a bit worse since then. I live in Georgia, and we are pretty much under, I'm not going to say like a quarantine, but they're advising everyone to pretty much stay home, stay in the house, especially around the city of Atlanta. They don't want people going out. Most of the stores are still open. You're still able to go to the grocery store, and they are limiting supplies now, so people can't hoard and buy all the toilet paper like was going on a few weeks. I actually was up in Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, and I came back right as this was kind of starting to take off, and was lucky enough to have kind of foreseen it. And we have a good amount of stuff here at the house, so we're in pretty good shape. One of the things from where I used to live up in the mountains, we were used to having a lot of snowstorms, and when I was younger, we had several blizzards where we had 2-3 feet of snow, and we had no power for 2 to 3 weeks, and went through that a couple times. And once you kind of go through something like that, you always tend to stay prepared for any kind of situation that might pop up. So usually we have enough food and supplies and things on hand to go for at least several weeks if we have to. Power chargers and things if we don't have power, plenty of candles and things like that. I still remember during one of those blizzards where we actually used a kerosene heater to boil water on and make oatmeal in the morning, and we had packed all our food out into the snow on the back porch, and we're able to use the kerosene grill every night to make food. So I have a little bit of experience of being stuck in the house for a while, but it's made a little bit better now because of all the electronics and the internet and things that we have available to us. And I'm also very fortunate enough that I can work from home with the company I work for, the type of work that we do. We're actually seeing a little bit of uptake in our work due to the interest rates going down. A lot of people are refinancing loans, and that's part of one of the things we do at my job. So we're seeing a little bit of an uptick there. So I'm still actually staying pretty busy, but I understand right now this is a rough time economically, and if you're someone that's being affected negatively by this, if you've been laid off, or you're a server or someone working in one of those industries that's getting hit real hard right now, you definitely have my sympathy. I've been through something like this before, more of an economic downturn, both in 2008 when the housing market crashed and I was in property management. I was out of work for about 7 months, and then when I was working in the oil and gas industry, the oil prices crashed around 2014, and I was out of work for about 9 months with that. So I've been there before. It's not fun. I know it sucks, and there's really nothing I can say or do that's going to make it better, but just do your best to kind of keep your head up right now, and hopefully in a couple months this is all going to be in a better place. And we got to stay strong right now and try to help each other out, and just get through it, hopefully. Like I said, here in Georgia, it's been interesting because they sort of have told us to stay at home. They're kind of resisting to go like full shutdown mode, but last Monday, actually, my office finally sent us home. That's one thing I will say about my employer. It's a little odd because they're very old school, and they kind of didn't want us to not be at work, and they were kind of resisting it as much as they possibly could. And then they finally started to get a plan in place to have us working remotely from the house, and they just kept dragging their feet. Well, Monday afternoon, it was very, very crazy because I actually left my desk, went for a little walk, went to the bathroom. I came back 5 minutes later. My entire office was just freaking out. People running up and down the hallways with boxes of files, running out the doors, yelling that we have to leave, we have to get out of here. spraying Lysol everywhere. And so I went into one of my coworkers. I'm like, like, dude, what's going on? What's with all the crazy panic? And then basically they said that someone that worked in the office had been around someone who had been confirmed with a case. And once they found that out, it just sent everybody into a frenzy. And I was like, well, see, if we had been more prepared and they had sent us home earlier, we wouldn't be dealing with this. But so we actually went home due to that, and we've been home ever since. I don't believe I was exposed to anyone with it, but I'm staying away from people anyways, and just doing my best to stay in the house and not go out. I have gone out a couple times just to basically, I went to the grocery store one day to kind of replenish some of the stuff like the milk. And I've gone out for a couple of walks around the neighborhood because we live in sort of a mountainous area with like wetlands and things. So it's not very populated. There's really nobody out. So I have gone out, with my camera and taken some photos and just some bird watching, things like that, just to kind of get out of the house once in a while and get some fresh air. But by and large, I'm trying to listen to what the CDC says and just stay away from people and try not to, just try not to influence this or pass it on if I do have it. Because they said a lot of times, especially people my age, you don't even know if you have any symptoms for it. So it's possible you could give it to somebody and you don't even know you have it, which is one of the reasons I wish more people were taking it a little bit seriously. I know up until about a week or two ago, there were a lot of people, especially in this country, who were just kind of blowing it off like, oh, it only affects old people. Oh, it's no big deal. Well, now it is turning into a big deal, especially in states like New York, where it's kind of becoming one of the epicenters here in the United States. California is pretty bad. Here in Georgia, I think we have over 500 cases. So it's getting pretty bad here too. And then you look at places like Italy, where the death toll is almost 7,000. They have almost a 10% mortality rate in Italy. They've actually over doubled China's death, amount of deaths so far with this thing. We're now up to, last I checked on Johns Hopkins, it was like 423,000 people have been confirmed infected across the world now. So we're getting up there in the numbers, and it's now killed almost 19,000 people. So it's definitely something that we need to be concerned with. And seeing videos on CBS where like there's these college kids out at the beach in Florida, like, oh, we don't care if we get it, we're on spring break and we're just here to live, and that kind of attitude, unfortunately, is not a good thing for us right now. And I think that's one of the things about America. It's don't get me wrong, I love living in America. I love the fact that we have freedom, to speak our mind and to do what we please and to be successful if we want, to work for it and things like that. But at the same time, that's one of our Achilles heels when things like this happens, is we're so used to freedom that, people are still going to go out. They're still going to do things. They're not going to listen to the government. They're not going to listen to the CDC when they tell you, hey, stay at home, don't go out. It's interesting because right when this first started, like I said, I had to drive out to the grocery store. It's about 5 miles from the house because we live out in the country, but I got into the area where the grocery store was. There's some restaurants and a Walmart and shopping center and all that stuff. And it's like everybody was out. Like it was just a normal day. Everybody was shopping. There were people eating at restaurants. And I'm looking around like, you guys are all nuts. You should not be in close proximity to anybody right now. I'm going to the grocery store, doing my best to stay away from people, just staying isolated. I got the hand sanitizer in my pocket, And it's just kind of interesting to see the culture here where people are kind of like, yeah, whatever, and they just, unfortunately with something like this, that's not a good attitude to have. And if we don't sort of batten down the hatches here, this is going to go on for quite a while. It's unfortunate. And I know the worst part, other than the virus, obviously, is what it's doing to the economy. I know, like I said, a lot of people are getting laid off, and I really feel bad for them. I've been there before, and it's not a fun place to be. But even now, it's, if you have any kind of retirement or any kind of investments, you're kind of sitting there like, oh boy, what's going to happen? Like, my own 401k has gone down quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. And, I'm trying to look at the fact that I'm still young. I still got a long time ahead of me before I have to worry about something like that. But hopefully it will come back, and hopefully the economy will be strong again. But right now it's just not looking real great. But I know for like the older population, especially, like my mom is getting ready to retire here in a couple of years, and now, she's lost a significant amount of money these last 2 weeks. It's been pretty sad, and so now she's basically like, if it doesn't come back, when by next year or something, she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because a lot of the retirement Money got eaten away for a lot of people these last couple of weeks. So it's really unfortunate. And I know our government's trying to do, what they can, but it's like even with the stimulus package they're trying to pass for the economy, they had it and they were getting ready to put it through, but it's like, once again, political crap comes in, and both sides want to get their victory in. They want to push their agenda, and it's like, it's not one side or the other either. I know a lot of people will spin it. I know the news media will spin it, but it's both sides. Both sides are being selfish, trying to get what they want instead of just helping out the average American, which is what they should be doing. But I'm not really a political guy. It's not a political channel, so I'm not going to delve too far into that. I'm just saying it's very interesting to watch our leaders of the country, fight and bicker over stupid stuff while people are out there dying and people are suffering financially. And we're supposedly the people they're working for, and they want to help, but it just seems like they never do it. So it's unfortunate. But anyways, like I said, just kind of have to do what you can right now to protect yourself. Like I said, I'm not leaving the house. I'm pretty much staying in. When I'm done with work, I've been working every day almost from 8:30 to 6. I have plenty of work to do. I can do it all remotely. That's one of the beautiful things about the technology we have these days, is if you have the internet, if you have that capability, a lot of jobs you're able to do, online from the house. So it's pretty good that way, at least. So at least I'm able to continue to do that and continue to operate here at the house. And this, for me, honestly, I'm getting to catch up on a lot of gaming, and getting to catch up on a lot of exercise. I've got an exercise bike at the house with some weights and things. So it hasn't been 100% bad. And I don't want to make it seem like a positive thing, because I know a lot of people are out there suffering, and you almost don't want to talk about happy things in your life right now. But at the same time, I think if there is, if you have something going on that's good, if you do have some happiness, it's good to share it with the world, because the world can use a lot of that right now. And like I said, if you're someone affected by either the economic downturn or the virus itself, you have my deepest sympathies right now. And I hope this gets better soon, and I hope we're able to recover from it, and we're able to hopefully put a stop to this, come up with a vaccine, or just everybody starts isolating themselves so that the virus will slowly die off. But we'll see what happens. So anyways, guys, appreciate you listening. Like I said, I'm getting kind of stir crazy in the house. Just kind of needed to get on and make a video and ramble a little bit to get some things off my mind, and stop worrying about it a little bit. So I hope you guys are safe. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of the gameplay. This is actually The Division, bringing back the game a little bit. It's interesting because with the situation going on right now, I was a little inspired to go back and play The Division, because it's kind of a similar situation, though that's in the game it's more of a terrorist virus attack, but it's still kind of wandering through the streets, and it kind of feels like the current situation a little bit, although we're not quite that far gone yet, and hopefully it doesn't get to that point. But kind of having the pandemic going on was a little bit of an inspiration to play this game for some odd reason. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Again, thanks for listening to me ramble and get some things off my chest about what's going on right now. Hope you guys are safe. I hope you stay safe. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.